Hello and welcome to Chabot News for April 24, 2025. My name is Mikhail Doja and today we'll be covering education funding freezes, updates on Israeli hostages, and the rise of magic mushrooms. In entertainment news, Chris will tell you about a dog's debut on the big screen, and finally in sports news, Susan has the latest updates on the upcoming FIFA World Cup. All that and more coming up in today's edition of Chabot News. The Honolulu community is in shock after the University of Hawaii president announced the Trump administration has canceled $30 million in federal grants. Mahalani Richardson has the details.
We will fight for that child. We will fight for their future.
At UH Manoa, advocates and students gathered for a National Day of Action for Higher Education to defend academic freedom. The event is happening during rapid changes by the Trump administration, being felt right now.
As of April 15th, 36 research programs have been terminated, issued stop work orders, or in the process of being phased out. These programs represent approximately $30 million in federal funding and have affected more than 40 employees.
These are the impacted programs Hensel says are no longer prioritized by the federal administration, including research related to diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility, sustainability, renewable energy, climate change, and minority health disparities.
It's terrifying. I mean, clearly we're dealing with a situation that hasn't happened to higher education in the United States. I know that that's the point, though. It's for us to feel fear.
We have to work through this together. This is about us as a community supporting and living the values that we believe in.
Due to these funding cuts, should lawmakers go into a special session?
If need be, yes. And our House leadership has told House lawmakers to expect 3 different special sessions later on in this year.
UH says it's unclear how many specific employees would lose their jobs, but Hensel previously said 2,500 jobs could be lost from funding cuts.
There is significant concern among our community for what is happening, and of course we share that concern. As you know, billions in federal funding to several universities have now been frozen due to alleged noncompliance with the new federal mandates regarding anti-Semitism and DEIA initiatives.
Thanks, Mahalani. The devastating federal cuts have left the citizens of Hawaii worried about what's next. Harvard University rejected the Trump administration's proposed agreements for continued funding. Now they've received a freeze on billions of dollars worth of grants. Julie McDonald reports.
Swift consequences with staggering impacts. By defying the administration's demands, Harvard was hit with a funding freeze of $2.2 billion in grants.
The conversation is, what in the world is going on? There is so much uncertainty about, is any federal funding safe?
Monday night at Harvard, students swayed back and forth, simultaneously defending the university's defiance of the Trump administration and also expressing concern over what these massive funding cuts mean for cutting-edge research.
These are people who are the best in the world, and that's why they're here. So that research is sort of in jeopardy.
The freeze comes after Harvard rejected a proposal calling for policy changes, including an immediate end to DEI, an audit of viewpoint diversity, discipline for protest encampments, and reforms to international admissions.
The Trump administration is trying to make an example of the wealthy selective institutions, trying to get them to completely overhaul the way they do everything.
Harvard's president explained the university refuses to negotiate over its independence or its constitutional rights. A statement that, according to President Trump's Joint Task Force, quote, reinforces the troubling entitlement mindset that is endemic in our nation's most prestigious universities. And Harvard said that addressing anti-Semitism remains a priority, strengthening their rules, expanding training, and supporting their Jewish community, but that curtailing research funding would not help with this important work. In Cambridge, I'm Julie McDonald, WBZ News.
Thanks, Julie. Hopefully they can come to an agreement soon. It was a day of protest at Harvard University on Thursday, April 17th. The demonstration came one day after the Trump administration threatened to revoke the university's ability to enroll international students. The threat also came days after the Trump administration froze billions of dollars in grants after its leaders refused to make key policy changes demanded by the White House. Christina Rex has more.
Harvard students protesting in the center of campus Thursday with signs about free speech, Palestine, and international students.
We had nearly a dozen of our own community members get their visas taken away.
Harvard is the first top university to openly defy the Trump administration's demands to drop DEI programs and silence campus protests, costing it $2 billion in federal funds. Late Wednesday, the Homeland Security Secretary took another $2.7 million, writing, with anti-American pro-Hamas ideology poisoning its campus and classrooms, Harvard's position as a top institution of higher learning is a distant memory. America demands more from universities entrusted with taxpayer dollars.
It is so scary.
Swedish international student Leo Derden is set to graduate in May.
I've looked forward to the day of commencement for 4 years now. I hope I don't spend it in a detention center in Louisiana.
But DHS is demanding that Harvard report its international students to the government for alleged violence or illegal activity.
If we give him 5 names, he's going to demand 100 more. So I think that this is the time we have to say, no, this is enough.
But not all students feel that defying the federal government is the right move. Here's Harvard Republican Club President Leo Korner.
I have a lot of friends who are international students. I don't want to see them go. I think that's sad. But if Harvard doesn't comply with federal law, that might happen. I hope they comply with federal law. It's sort of a protest, and it's becoming so extreme that they're really going to hurt their reputation.
And new today, 2 Republicans on Capitol Hill are now launching another investigation into Harvard, claiming the university has not complied with civil rights laws. In Cambridge, Christina Rex, WBZ News.
Thanks, Christina. The freeze on funding has already impacted research at the University School of Public Health, including research into finding a cure for HIV and AIDS. And now we go to Susan Gonzalez with this week's sports news.
FIFA's president Gianni Infantino is talking about what is going to be an incredible next 15 months in the United States with the Club World Cup and the FIFA World Cup. Coy Wire talked to Infantino during a visit the president did to CNN in Atlanta.
We have 2 World Cups coming to the US back to back. One this year, one next year. The one next year everyone knows, the World Cup in 26, United States, Canada, Mexico, big countries, Argentina, world champion, and so on and so forth. But we created a new World Cup because soccer, the way it's organized, it's on one side you have the countries, on the other side you have the teams, the clubs. We have a World Cup for the countries. We didn't have so far a World Cup for the clubs, for the teams. And we thought it's actually quite good to know which team is the best in the world. When you win the Super Bowl, right, you are the world champion.
There's no doubt, right.
Because you are the best in the world. But in soccer, this doesn't exist. So we created a new Club World Cup, a World Cup for the 32 best teams in the world, from Europe, from South America, North America, Africa, Asia, everywhere in the world. And we will determine in 63 games, it's 63 Super Bowls in 1 month, from 14th of June to 13th of July, which of those teams is the best in the world. We have the best players in the world coming, Vinicius, Messi, Mbappe, Haaland, Rodri, Bellingham, you name them, they are all coming, Harry Kane, they are all here, they are all coming to the United States and play for the glory of being the first ever, so it's history that we are writing here, first ever real official world champion.
Incredible.
Thanks, Coy. These are all things to look for all soccer fans. Mohamed Salah has signed a new 2-year contract to remain at Liverpool, finally putting an end to the long-running speculation that he might be moving away.
I met him twice.
For everything Arne Slot has done with his team on the pitch since taking over last year, securing Salah's services until 2027 is one of his most significant achievements. Salah has scored 243 goals in 394 appearances since joining from Roma in 2017, helping Liverpool to the Champions League, Premier League, FA Cup, League Cup, and FIFA Club World Cup. He scored 32 goals in all competitions so far this season to help Liverpool 11 points clear at the top of the Premier League table. Salah says he's very excited about the chance of winning more trophies and speaking to the media. Salah was obviously pleased with the news.
A shooting investigation is underway at Florida State University in Tallahassee. 2 are dead and 6 are injured in a reported shooting on April 17th. According to FSU police, the suspect is in custody. The incident took place in the area of the student union. The suspect has been revealed to be an FSU student and is a relative of a local sheriff's deputy. As of this edition of Chabot News, there have been 91 mass shootings in the United States this year. In light of this recent tragedy, we sent our reporter Bruce Malloy out to ask Chabot students if they feel safe on the campus.
The recent Florida State University shooting, do you feel safe on campus?
As of Chabot College, I do feel safe here because I have seen that there are various resources on this campus, such as El Centro, which I think is a very safe space. Regarding the shooting itself, I do feel safe here because I feel like we're in a not so bad area. I'm not too worried about Chabot, so I would say I do feel safe here.
I mean, yeah, I know. Seems fine here. Yeah, I know. Just, yeah, I'd say this campus feels fine in terms of safety. I don't know.
Most times I do, but it is an open campus, so it feels like anybody can come on campus if needed to. But I feel like the city of Hayward is still a pretty nicer area where things like that don't happen, but you can never say never. So there's always possibility that if there's a certain person who's not in that right state of mind, they can still come on campus if they want to.
I mean, it can happen anywhere. They're not really, you can't really prevent them if someone just decides to bring a gun to campus one day. So, yeah.
Thanks, Bruce. It looks like the majority of Chabot college students do feel safe on campus. On the central coast of California, a homeless man has become a millionaire from a scratch-off ticket. He purchased the Lucky Scratch card from a convenience store this month. Carson Wells spoke with the manager who sold it.
That's the ticket right there. Wilson Simon has worked at Sandy's Liquor since 2013 and tells me that this is the first time someone has ever won a prize of this size. He says the winner is a longtime customer who is also homeless.
He came to the store, he scratched, is like, oh my God, is that real? Wilson, can you come and take a look? I'm like, let me see. So I grabbed the ticket out of his hand. I went to the machine over there. He's like, I'm not homeless anymore. I'm like, man, you hit the jackpot. He's like, 100,000. I'm like, no, bro, that's $1 million. That's $1 million ticket. Congrats, brother. Yeah, so we give each other a high five.
What goes through your mind when someone who shops here so often wins a ticket like this?
A lot. It's like a lot of happiness for the person, especially like a person or a loyal, regular customer daily. I wish him all the best.
Simon did more than just confirm the winning ticket.
I drove him to Fresno, I think the next day or Wednesday. So, because he's like, he want to send it in the mail. I told him, that's $1 million ticket. No, I will drive you there.
I spoke with a spokesperson from the California Lottery who told me what has to be done before the money is awarded.
With $1 million winner like this, what the person who comes forward can expect is a very thorough vetting process. As you can imagine, we give away a lot of prize money at the California Lottery, and we're happy to do it, but we want to make sure we're giving it to the right person.
She says this vetting process can take anywhere from a few weeks to a couple months and involves an interview with the winner, checking to see if the person owes the state any money, and a few other factors.
We process in California over 10,000 winning claims a month. So that's part of why it takes a little bit of time.
While I was at Sandy's, the winner came in to buy a few more tickets. He declined an on-camera interview, but tells me that this is a life-changing amount of money and that he intends to make a down payment on a home here on the Central Coast, get a car, and then invest and save the rest. In San Luis Obispo, Carson Wells, KSBY News.
Thanks, Carson. The odds of winning the $1 million prize in this case is just 1 in 2.1 million. California Lottery offers nearly 50 different scratches with top prizes range from $100 to $10 million, depending on the type. A 5.2 magnitude earthquake hit Southern California Monday, April 14th, rattling homes, businesses, and nerves. Jeff Julian spoke to people near the quake's epicenter in Julian, California.
Ashley Pinnock's cat went flying off the couch a split second before she grabbed her baby Michael from his playpen to run outside as her home shook Monday morning in eastern San Diego County.
I heard it first, and then when I heard it, I felt it. And when I felt it, I was like, I have to get the baby.
The mother of 4 and her husband Andrew were home with Michael while their other kids were at school. They say their home, which was built in the 1960s, mostly made of wood, added to the sensory overload.
We have a large beam that runs through the center of our house, and I heard a cracking noise. And so my first instinct was to get out because I didn't want to be underneath that beam.
To be able to feel something like of that nature and that power is terrifying for me. I mean, I'm a 6'3" guy, and nothing really scares me that much. But to hear the entire earth, rumble like that.
The 5.2 quake also rattled Mountain Spirits liquor store in the town of Julian. Dylan Carnero recorded video of the mess it created. Fortunately, he was in a back room instead of his normal breakfast spot.
I probably would have been hit by like 3 heavy, 750s for sure.
He believes he lost about $500 of merchandise.
It was just straight up the aggressive shaking in total, the bottles, and then my heart even a little bit. Obviously it was scary.
When the quake hit here, Andrew and Ashley got alerts on their phones after the shaking, so they're having new conversations about preparing for a big quake.
When you live in an old house and you see the modern houses, they're made to withstand and deal with a lot of that stuff. So I'm not sure if this one is.
Thanks, Jeff. Seismologists say this earthquake is likely associated with the Elsinore Fault, which is a branch of the larger San Andreas fault system. Now we go to Chris Dorr with entertainment news.
A dog from Iowa has made it onto the silver screen. Bing the Great Dane is featured in a new movie called The Friend. Nicole Tam has the story of how Bing made it to New York City.
It's about the dog.
The movie stars big names like Bill Murray and Naomi Watts. Boy. And Bing. The 150-pound Great Dane is named Apollo in the film.
Bad dog.
He may have been portrayed as a naughty dog in that scene.
Can you spin? Spin.
But is the best boy in real life.
Good boy.
Bing's handler, Bev Clennensmith, says knowing commands was a big part of his role.
It was general obedience and a lot of its temperament, kind of being unflappable around the cameras and the people and the noise.
Can you sit?
He knows a lot of tricks.
Is it pretty?
And learned some new ones.
Good boy.
Carry an object in his mouth, which did not come naturally to him as a Dane and not a retriever. And he had to learn to scratch on a door, which was nothing he had ever done before.
Filming took about 3 months in New York last year. Since the film came out 2 weeks ago, Bev and Bing have been busy with appearances on national TV.
Just honored to be part of it, honored to be representing, the breed, our hometown. Everything. It's been quite an honor and a privilege to be part of it.
The movie is playing in theaters around the world, but the proudest fans are at Capitol II Theater in Bing's hometown.
Thanks, Nicole. His handler says Bing is happy to be home and is looking forward to naps and treats. On Easter Sunday, celebrate in church with Snoop Dogg. That's right, the rapper is releasing a new gospel album, or you might call it Goss-Izzle. It's called Altar Call, and it's dedicated to his late mother, Beverly Tate. She's even featured on the cover. 53-year-old Snoop says Tate taught him to use his voice and platform to spread love and heal the world. The album has 21 tracks with guest appearances from artists like Jamie Foxx and the Death Row Mass Choir. It releases on April 27th, which would have been Tate's 74th birthday. But don't worry, the album's first single dropped on Friday, April 18th, just in time for Easter. Altar Call marks Snoop's second gospel album. He released Bible of Love in 2018. We sent to our reporter, Adrian Santoyo, to ask Chabot students what their favorite Snoop Dogg song is.
What is your favorite Snoop Dogg song?
My favorite Snoop Dogg song is probably Gin and Juice. That's the best and most classic Snoop Dogg song, so I always enjoy listening to that one.
The question is, what is your favorite Snoop Dogg song?
My favorite Snoop Dogg song is Drop It Like It's Hot.
All right, my question is, what is your favorite Snoop Dogg song?
My favorite Snoop Dogg song is Gin and Juice. Elena.
All right, and so my question is, what is your favorite Snoop Dogg song?
Bring It On off the last Mule album.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Thank you, Adrian. Now back to you.
Thanks, Chris. Hamas says on Tuesday is studying an Israeli proposal for a ceasefire in Gaza that would see 10 hostages released in exchange for hundreds of Palestinian prisoners and detainees. The proposal outlines an initial framework for a 45-day truce in the Palestinian enclave during which the two sides would aim to negotiate a permanent ceasefire. That's according to a Hamas official. The Israeli proposal also calls for the disarmament of Gaza and does not include a guarantee of a permanent end to the war, which Hamas has demanded as part of a comprehensive agreement. A Hamas official said the group will not agree to any Israeli ceasefire proposal that calls for its disarmament or sees Israeli forces return to Gaza after an initial withdrawal. The offer marks Israel's first proposal to bring back hostages from Gaza since it resumed the war in March. 2 years of war in Sudan have not only driven millions of people from their homes, it's also put unknown numbers of them at risk of famine. The situation is worsening as Sudan's paramilitary Rapid Support Forces claims it's seized control of a huge camp for displaced people, forcing hundreds of thousands to flee. The UN says the assault left hundreds dead, including humanitarian workers. Salma Abdelaziz has more.
You are looking at images of a famine-stricken camp where families forced out of their home by war were attacked by a militia accused of genocide. This video, verified and geolocated by CNN, shows the Rapid Support Forces, known as the RSF, attacking the sprawling Zemzem camp in the Darfur region of Sudan, forcing thousands of hungry and desperate people to flee for their lives. This is what we know right now. The RSF raided the camp, killed dozens of people, set fire to tents and marketplaces, deliberately targeted health clinics, and killed at least 9 medical workers, according to Relief International, an aid agency. This satellite imagery shows that the RSF carried out a scorched earth policy across an area of 165 football fields. The RSF, which is seen here celebrating, has denied targeting civilians. Now, Darfur, the region where this took place, is the epicenter of a genocide that was reignited when a civil war broke out between the RSF and the Sudanese army. That war is now entering its 3rd year, and it has triggered what the UN calls the world's greatest humanitarian crisis. Once again, those with a Black or African tribal identity are being systematically hunted and killed by Arab militias like the RSF in what has been determined to be a genocide by the US State Department. And there is no end in sight to this conflict. Millions of people are unseen, battered, bruised, bombed and besieged, denied medical care and basic services, while the warring factions only exacerbate the suffering. Salma Abdelaziz, CNN, London.
Thanks, Salma. Our thoughts are with the people of Sudan. Oh, snap! The professional driver is back with another driver hack, and this time we are practicing the second way on how to parallel park on the left side. With this 3-part series, we check in with our reporter, Alan Sampson, as he went out to ask some people about how they parallel park on the left side.
Vroom, vroom, vroom. Are you in one of the 78 countries that have to drive on the left side?
If so, here is number 2 out of the 3 ways to parallel park on the left side. But before we get into this driver hack, we asked some people about their tactics on how they parallel park.
I think you okay, because I don't have my license, so.
Look back at my space, put my hand on the wheel, I look back, and I slide that thing in. I was like, oh, I got some space, but if not, I'm still good.
I parallel park through, so what do I do? What do I start doing?
Such captivating answers there. Let's get into our driver hack now. When parallel parking on the left side, the second way is to drive forward until you are aligned with your parking space. Drive forward a foot. Turn your steering wheel to the right. Drive forward until you are at a 35-degree angle with the vehicle in front, simultaneously aligning your side mirror with the middle of the vehicle in front. Straighten out your wheel and reverse in until your vehicle's front side left corner aligns with the front side right corner of the parking space. Turn right and reverse until you are in your parking space. The car goes right in. This is our second way to parallel park on the left side.
Well, now you know.
Radical, bro.
That's crazy, my boy.
Remember to drive safely and please be courteous. I am Alan Sampson reporting for Chabot TV.
Thanks, Alan. Awesome driver hack, Alan. Can't wait to see the third way to parallel park on the right side. I definitely need to share these driving hacks with everyone. The tallest building in Hayward, its former city hall, is set to be demolished after 15 years of disuse. The 11-story building was originally abandoned after suffering severe damage during the 1989 Loma Prieta earthquake. In recent years, it began to go downhill with graffiti and litter rampant inside of the property. Because of such, the demolition will begin with the removal of hazardous waste. The site will also be prepared for future redevelopment. Although the site's future remains hazy, the city of Hayward claims that it won't sit vacant and that something, quote, of benefit to the community will be developed there instead. Several plans to redevelop the lot have been proposed since the building was abandoned, but this is the first to have stuck. The Hayward City Council approved a $3.9 million demolition contract with Silverado contractors earlier this month to seal the deal. The Hayward Lit Hop Literary Festival is returning to downtown Hayward on Saturday, April 26th. Local poet Letitia Guzman will kick off the event by holding a public writing workshop at the Hayward Library at 1 p.m. It will be called Writing Your World and aims to help people express their dreams about a better world through writing. The hop itself will begin at 2 p.m. in Heritage Plaza, just across the street from the library. It'll host a poetry reading and a live performance from the East Bay Symphonic Band. The event, in keeping with its name, will move from different venues in and around B Street after that. It'll feature the Afro-Surreal Writing Association, the San Leandro Poets, and the California Writers Club, among other groups. The event will end with a 7 p.m. after party at Sun Gallery. If you're a big fan of literature or even just bored on a Sunday, then you can visit the free-to-attend event. On April 16th, a Chabot student organization held an open mic event for students to vent their feelings and inner thoughts. We sent Chabot TV reporter Cole Wagner to the event to give us the scoop.
Change It Now, a social justice learning community here at Chabot, held a Speak Out event on campus on April 16th.
I would say the majority of our events are student-driven. Students themselves come up with ideas, again, through dialogue, through conversation. And one of the things that students thought about was, let's do a Speak Out.
The event was hosted as an open mic for students to voice their opinions, poetry, and personal stories.
They said there was an open mic going on, so might as well write down, speak what I got to speak out of my mind, such as 2 spoken word poetries I came up with, which is about, one of them was about social media addiction and current event stuff going on, and last was talks about rejection, which I dealt with my personal experiences and how much it kind of holds me up personally.
I wear this pain like a second skin.
heavy, suffocating, and pulling in me. Oh, but pain, you're a teacher too.
I feel like in our generation, like everything is so social media based. That's where a lot of people get their interactions for the day. Like, you know, you can be on your phone having full-blown conversations and perfectly content without going outside, without being in person. So I think something like this is really nice.
She transforms her pain and suffering into strength and wisdom. Yes, she may stumble. Yes, sometimes she falls. But just as the sun always rises, so too does a powerful woman.
Sophia Araujo, a student organizer with CIN, explains why this event was needed.
I think it's important to give people the platform and the opportunity to share how they feel, especially on campus. I feel like sometimes you don't feel like you can express that or share it or find other people who feel the same way as you. So this is an opportunity for us to build community and support one another.
As a college campus, I think our role is to create these spaces. Of course, they happen in the classroom, but also have like this outlet too outside of the classroom where they can speak to anything that they may be going through.
Although this was the only Speak Out event scheduled for this semester, Change It Now has plans to continue organizing in the future.
Change It Now, I think we are always thinking about events that, again, our students are planning. I think right now, of course, with the end of the semester, we do have our end of the year celebration. This is where we celebrate our students who are transferring or who are graduating from Chabot.
For Chabot News, my name is Cole Wagner. Now back to you.
Thank you, Cole. Students interested in joining Change It Now can get more information at chabotcollege.edu/CIN. And now, here's Lamont Lugin with his top 5 this week.
Hello everybody, my name is Lamont Lugin, and with all the shows we produce here, I just want to take this time to appreciate all the people in the TV class with my top 5 of top 5 people in class. All right, starting with number 5 is the one and only Christian Gonzalez. First off, bro's been a big help since I met him in radio, and it's kind of continued now. You know, only thing I wish is that he laughed at my jokes. Next up, to number 4, we have Adrian Santoyo. Adrian's a great dude. I'm not even gonna hold you. We be up in class talking about women. It's amazing. And he put me on to delicious Mexican spots in the Hayward area. Now, on to number 3, who I like to call an aspiring magical white man. We have Cole Wagner, who honestly, I just have nothing negative to say about him. He's just a great dude overall. There's nothing you can roast about him. He's one of those dudes who you see and you're like, yeah, I like that guy. Now, number 2, we have Jasmine Bester. Honestly, great person. I thought she hated me at the beginning of the year, and now she's like one of my favorite people in the class. You know, she's extremely knowledgeable and laughs at all my jokes. That's key here, people. And number 1, the magical white man himself, Bruce Malloy, everybody. Not only has this dude lived a long life of doing the most random white people things I ever heard, but he also laughs at my jokes. He's amazing, especially when we talked about bidets in class. My name is Lamont Lugin. This has been my top 5. Now back to you, Mikhail.
Thanks, Lamont. A new study has found unsupervised use of psilocybin, or magic mushrooms, has increased in the U.S. Study authors say the use of psilocybin increased 188% from 2019 to 2023 among adults older than 30. Its use increased 44% among 18 to 29-year-olds during the same time period. The study found the use of psilocybin was higher than estimates for cocaine, illicit opioid use, methamphetamine, or LSD. In a few clinical trials, psychedelics have shown promise in treating depression, anxiety, substance use, and PTSD. But researchers say the rising trend also corresponds with a rise of calls to poison control centers. Doctors say taking these drugs unsupervised can lead to distressing hallucinations, agitation, and possible injury. The study was published in the Annals of Internal Medicine on Monday. And the Oscar goes to Artificial Intelligence. The Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences has updated its rules to clarify the use of AI in movies. It says that technology will not disqualify a film from being able to nab an Oscar nomination The Academy states that AI and other digital tools will, quote, neither help nor harm the chances. However, it does make it clear that the more human involvement in a movie, the better. The Academy was considering making it mandatory to disclose that AI was used in a film, but decided to not include that in the updated rules. The topic was hotly debated ahead of the Oscars earlier this year after it came to light that a few films that were nominated used AI enhancements. That's all for Chabot News this week. Thanks to all the students and staff in the Mass Communications Department here at Chabot College for making this production possible. You can watch us anytime online at youtube.com/ChabotTV. Stay tuned to KCTH Channel 27 on Comcast for more Chabot TV.